The 1420 Sports Podcast, show 193, April the 14th, 2022. Dave, it's like we called each other from back in high school. We're wearing the exact same hat tonight, just 1420 gear going on. Both of us the exact same hat like we used to do in high school. You wear yours, I'll wear mine kind of deal. Kind of made me laugh when I saw you on the Zoom call here tonight. You're kind of, you're half-assed bachelorette. You had the boy taking care of him tonight, Jasper. Kaylee's away doing some other things. How's half bachelor life, or how's what's the single-ish father life treating you tonight?
And it's going well. I had a really good night with my son. Kaylee is away for 2 nights, and so, back in the day, pre-kid, it was a lot different. The years would actually perk up a little bit. But then now that the boy's with, and thank God he's 11 and he's a really good kid. So, yeah, we had some fun. Our thing is my thing with it, because fucking screen time. You let kids get on screen time. He's doing shit on his laptop with his buddies and playing Minecraft and Fortnite and all that kind of shit. But before supper,
I wouldn't even know how to play those games, but yeah.
Backgammon. We play backgammon every night.
Oh, really?
We play backgammon.
I wouldn't know how to play that either. I've never played backgammon.
Well, I'll teach you. It's a good little game. Well, it's not a little. It's old as the Pharaohs. The Pharaohs used to play that game. And he's learning, and it's good. He actually won tonight. He's the night champ for backgammon.
There we go.
So congratulations, Jasper. April 14, 2022. You are the backgammon champion for 1302 tonight.
The baseball season's now a week old. We had our first Dave Van Rove's perfect game, no-hitter alert come across the wire yesterday afternoon. Clayton Kershaw. It's well documented. If you just, I'm sure if you listen to the 1420 podcast, you definitely know the ins and outs of sports and what's going on. But just to recap, Kershaw, Minnesota Twins, yesterday afternoon around 2 o'clock, I think it was. The alert came up that there was a perfect game alert coming up on MLB, the app, the whole thing. Kershaw got yanked shortly after the alert came up that he was perfect through 7, 13 strikeouts, 80 pitches in on the nose. Dave Roberts, that no good. I hate Dave Roberts for 2 reasons now, not just the 2004 stealing the bases, the Boston Red Sox, New York Yankees, but for pulling Kershaw yesterday. Perfect game, 80 pitches in. I get it. Shortened spring training and everything else. I get it to that extent. And Kershaw has some injury problems. But Dave, come on, man. What the heck is baseball doing protecting these arms? They're going to get hurt regardless. I think it was a huge mistake for baseball that Roberts pulled Kershaw yesterday. What are your thoughts?
This wasn't the first one, though. Hey,
no, he did it about 3 or 4 years ago too. And
yeah,
but yeah,
but it's not the first one this season. There was a Padres pitcher that was in the 7th inning with a no, not a perfect game, a no hitter.
That's right. Yeah,
at like 78 pitches, and he got yanked, and that raises my eyebrows. I don't think we ever got to that. This one rankles me a lot more, and it's not. It's not even, the typical rant. What the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? But in the grand scheme of things, the fuck are you doing? Like, there's no hitters every year. There's not perfect games. Perfect games.
There's been 23 in the history of that great game. There was more pitchers that started baseball games yesterday than there's been perfect games in the history of this game.
It's amazing. Like, working on 150 years, there's 20, what'd you say?
23
perfect games. This is an absolute travesty. I'm going to break it down in a couple things. A, the rarity of a perfect game. B, you're targeting, like, this is legacy stuff for Kershaw. It's absolute legacy. He's clearly on the downslide. He's cruising. And, even though he came out and said, like, he himself said, blame the injuries from last year, blame the shortened spring training.
Ask
But
him in
yeah,
10 years.
yeah, when you have a chance at history, you have to take it. You have to take it. You have to take it. This is an affront to everything that baseball is supposed to be. Baseball at its
Core.
what makes core is a numbers game.
Yep.
And the fact that you can run 27 up, 27 down, the very opportunity for that to happen presents itself so rarely. And this is a legacy thing for Kershaw. Like he's going to the Hall of Fame. He got his ring, asterisk.
Asterisk. Yeah.
But this just solidifies his greatness. And the fact that the Dodgers, that baseball, that Dave Roberts disrespects the chance for greatness really pisses me off. Like you're robbing the fans of something to talk about. And I don't know why you would disrespect the game, disrespect the fans, disrespect a chance for a legacy moment for Kershaw. It's just so disrespectful. I will speak of Dave Roberts with bitterness in my tone from here to the end of time.
I've never liked Dave Roberts, like I said, since the 2004 Red Sox, those 2 stolen bases in I think it was the 9th inning of that fateful night at Yankee Stadium where they I think it was Yankee Stadium. It doesn't much matter, where they came back and they didn't win that series in 7. And then he did this yesterday. He's done it before. Did it with Walker Buehler a couple of years back, and I think it was Buehler's second start of his career. Had a no-hitter going. I understand that the end result is the end result, and you want to win the World Series, but at some point, every pitcher, last pitch is his last pitch. And I don't believe it has anything to do with protecting an arm by going 80 pitches. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a whatever the fuck. I'm not. But I honestly believe that these pitchers don't throw enough. That's why they get hurt. Not everybody's a freak like Roger Clemens and like Nolan Ryan, obviously, but those guys threw a lot of baseballs, and then they threw a lot of long toss. These guys are so protected now, and that's why they get hurt. I think, and I find it bullshit that these guys didn't throw in the offseason, knowing that there was a strike on. I find it that hard to believe that these guys that's their job, that they didn't throw at all and that they got to amp up their season. If that's the case, that they weren't ready for opening day, then leave them in extended spring training and bring up a bunch of relievers to just have a starter, an opener game. I do not believe that, and you're paying these guys a lot of money, no matter what. I don't understand how you could put Clayton Kershaw in a position, arguably the greatest Dodger of all time. If he gets that perfect game yesterday, he's the greatest Dodger of all time. He surpasses Koufax.
And quite possibly the greatest game ever pitched, because I believe he had 11 strikeouts at 13. That point. 13 strikeouts.
7 and a 21 outs. He had 13. He had 13 strikeouts. So that actually, by having this many strikeouts, he had that many more pitches. If he would have had a bunch of groundouts instead, then all of a sudden he's at 70. He's at 70 pitches.
Right?
Who knows?
It's the numbers. It just doesn't add up to me.
He already has a no-hitter in his career. Why this magical number of 80 is a magical number? Then throw 3 less warm-up pitches, for fuck's sakes. Whatever. Roll him out in the 8th. If the first pitch, which was Gary Sanchez home run to whoever the reliever was, or a single, whatever, who cares?
Or even a base runner, whatever.
And then take him out.
But this robbing history of a possible historic moment. It's robbing history. Like it's that's what I don't understand. I see, and this makes me think how this decision is made. Like Kershaw has enough stroke in that bullpen, in that clubhouse to say, no, I'm going back out. Does he?
100%.
So this is on Kershaw as much as Dave Roberts then.
Like if if the season, okay, if they have this 162 game season, which apparently is too fucking long because now the head office is telling the managers how long these guys can pitch, then don't have a 162 game season. Like, just if don't talk out of both sides of your mouth, because you want to make a bunch of money, have 81 home dates. But if you can't man a team and you can't man the best possible team you can on a nightly basis, inning to inning basis, then don't. Pulling Kershaw yesterday, and travesty is a pretty big word in today's world. But I was baffled. And this is another way that baseball is finding a way to get people younger than us disengaged from the game. Because there are kids out there who, okay, another thing, I'll get to this. Baseball is the only sport where a game that means absolutely nothing on a Wednesday afternoon can grab national attention.
Can provide a
National
moment.
attention.
You bet.
There's no other sport that does it. There's no other sport that can possibly do that. Football's on Sunday, so everyone's watching. Nobody in fucking name a state, name a province was watching that game yesterday. That notification comes up where people, hey, there's a perfect game going on. They can get eyeballs on it. Nope, baseball fucks this up. No, we're taking them out of the game.
By a big name player for a big name franchise.
By the second biggest franchise in baseball.
Everybody knows Kershaw. Everybody knows the Dodgers.
The biggest TV market had a chance to have how many millions of people watching the MLB app or whatever, and they go, no, 80 pitches, he's out.
And not only that, it's not even watching it, like social media, like on Twitter, the next day, it would dominate Sports Center. Everybody, it would make the local news everywhere. A perfect game was pitched. A perfect game is a big motherfucking deal.
We're down to, I think it's been 11 years. I think it's, I want to say Mark Burley was the last. It's been 11 years since the last perfect game was thrown. Where the second longest streak since the perfect game, like of no perfect games going on. So there you go. There was a chance for history. There could have been some 12-year-old kid skipping school with his dad at that ball game yesterday in Minnesota who was robbed of an opportunity because of fucking analytics. I don't get it. I do not understand why baseball stubs its dink consistently with not having games televised in certain markets, with doing shit like this yesterday, and now you're arguably the greatest Dodger ever. Well, that's enough pitches. We want to win in October. Then sit him for 2 games after this
to possibly pitch one like a perfect game's a perfect game, but like a perfect game with so he was at 13. He might have had 16 strikeouts and a perfect game. Like the most dominant pitching performance of all time.
So why not pull him in the 6th? And then we probably aren't talking about it as much. Because 9 outs and 6 outs is different. I get it.
It's like saying, Pablo Picasso, you're out of paint. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to leave this one on.
Oh,
paint.
it's
like
so,
we're gonna let
so infuriating.
It is awful. Here, I was trying to think of comparables to even a hypothetical comparable. Let's pretend Tom Brady has thrown for 6 touchdowns and 520 yards, and they're up by 8 touchdowns, but there's still 8 minutes left, and you have good field position on a drop punt. Are you going to bench him and put in the next guy, or are you going to put him in and let him throw for that?
Because I think 7 touchdowns. I think 7 pass touchdowns is the record.
Okay, then
I think it actually is.
Are we going to put him on the bench? Are we going to let him throw for that 8? This game's in the bag. Only so many bullets. What if he breaks his leg? I don't give a fuck. 8 touchdowns. I'm gonna why not give me another record and you're not telling Tom Brady he's not throwing for that 8 touchdown pass. It is just I can't and that's the best comparable I could possibly think of. Why rob a player of an opportunity to have a signature historic moment for your career?
The thing with Kershaw, I've never met him. Obviously, I never will. He seems like a good guy. So he's not going to go out and say, like we said earlier, he's not going to go out and say, "Fuck, you know what? I can't believe they fucking pulled me." Could you imagine? Just go back 30 years. Nolan Ryan on the hill, perfect game, struck out probably 18 because that's what Ryan did back then. Could you imagine manager, whatever he's playing for then? Yeah, your pitch count's pretty high. We're taking you out. You sit down. I'm actually gonna punch you harder than I punch Robin Ventura.
Well, and that's a thing too, because even though he has 7 no-hitters, Nolan Ryan does not have a perfect game. The perfect game is like
everything has to work. Everything like between from the umpire to the catcher to the pitcher to the fielders, the manager, positioning guys. Now there's so much that has to go into it. Like every team, like every player, every manager, every coach would celebrate that what happened. The pitcher's an integral part, but not the only part. It's so fucked up. It's so fucked up that they allow that they did that yesterday. I don't get it.
It's absolute robbery. It's robbery. And when they say about building a fan base, this ain't the way to do it. And I don't know, like I'm always going to revert back to, I don't know what discussions were being had between Kershaw and Roberts, and I don't know whose decision this was, but I cannot imagine for 1 second that Kershaw was not on board for this. And then if that's what it is, I do think as great as Kershaw is, and he is going to be a Hall of Famer, there's a little, that's my first ding on him, because no one was a bigger gamer in his career through those playoffs before they got their title. Like pitching every day in the playoffs, coming from the bench
and getting killed in the playoffs.
Whatever.
So this is his chance to do something for him.
And which blows me away that he was on board.
He took it in the rear end going in the late innings of playoff games a lot and lost. This was one for him in game 6 or whatever it is for the Dodgers for Clayton Kershaw.
Clayton Kershaw is going to have to talk about this till the day he dies.
Yeah. It'll be brought up forever.
What happened to that game on April 13th? Why did he pull you? Like, you were on board for that? Was that you? Was that your guy? Was that your agent? Like, it can't be his agent, because he's not signing it. Like, he might sign another contract after this. I don't know how much is left, but
he signed a 1-year deal for this year.
Like, then go into the sunset and put this on your fucking mantle. I'm just so disappointed, and I'm so disappointed in the entire situation. It sucks.
Like, if this is what baseball teams are going to do, and if there's a preset, because most teams own their network, or network owns a team, vice versa, whatever. If this is the case of what pitchers are going to pitch, put the reverse pitch count on there. This is his thing. 80 pitches, he's out. Then we know. Good. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it when I saw him he got yanked yesterday. I just beside myself with the whole thing.
Same. Like, it's and at the end of the day, I'm not angry. I'm just so sorely disappointed. Disappointed.
And the way baseball's gone, if the pitchers are going to get hurt regardless, they're not strong enough. They got to throw more. You know, the only way to get an arm stronger is to throw more. If you baby these guys, then why give them $30 million a year? If they're only just outs grabbers, get 9 outs grabbers per game, one inning, good. See you later.
Yeah, then you can pitch every day.
Yeah, go ahead, pitch every fucking day.
You're a 3-inning guy, you're a 2-inning guy, you're a 1-inning guy. Like, they can just rate them like that.
So that
way we don't have to.
Like,
yeah.
This showed yesterday that starting pitching is not as important as it once was, because you're eating innings. That's all you're doing. They don't care about wins.
It's the 3rd time through the order. Who gives a fuck? They
learn how to pitch instead of just throwing.
He both thrown the first time. What's to say he can't do it a 3rd time?
If now these guys go max effort for 2, because they know they're out the 3rd time through the lineup. They're going max effort. They're throwing their arms out. That's actually, I just thought of that, Dave. That's the fucking problem. They know they got 18 batters to face. They're throwing their arms out because I got to throw as hard as I can for 4 innings to get this many outs, and I'm out anyway. So why not? And then they're going to throw. They're going to put guy after guy after guy in. I don't know.
I would.
It's not the game I grew up with. It's not. It's just different.
You're right.
I don't think it's better.
I want to sit down. I want to pump Kershaw full of truth serum and said, whose decision was this and why?
100%.
And because I just simply can't imagine as a competitor, as an
As a
athlete,
competitor.
that
Exactly.
you do not want that fucking chance, because it's not a chance that
You're ever going to
presents
have again.
itself.
This is it, man.
6 outs away from a perfecto. Like
Let's say
that's such an accomplishment.
In the 8th, let's say he throws 2 ground balls and a pop up in 6 pitches. It happens. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
So you're 86 with 3 to go. You're going to yank it in? Ah, chicken shit fucking move.
It's absolute chicken shit. And this is a thing that's wrong with the game. And like we said earlier on, like a couple episodes ago, it's analytics fucking the game over. This is just analytics run amok, and it's I just don't fucking get it. I just don't get it. I don't get it. A perfect game is so rare, and so we're never going to see another perfect game again unless it's Johnny John who just catches like he's a 500 pitcher with a 4.5 ERA. But he just finds lightning in a bottle one day, and they're like, I don't give a fuck. Go to your throw 120. I don't care.
It's going to have to be that guy, David. You're right. It's going to have to be that guy who comes out of the minors because some other fucking superstar got hurt because he pitched too many fucking innings, and then it's going to be that kid to come out of AA probably that just gets one chance, and that's the next time you'll see it, because you don't even see complete games, let alone you seeing a perfect game.
Yeah. Yeah, the Iron Man, the consecutive game streaks, any kind of thing for longevity, whether it be throughout a season and a career, or whether it be a pitching performance, you're just simply not going to see those anymore, because you're going to get maintenance days with the guys in the field, and you get this, and you gotta protect the assets. Just fucking get out there and play.
And shorten the fucking season.
Yeah, which I'm against, because now you sell.
I like watching
records.
The records are gone, but if the season's too long, you guys can't play 162, then don't do it.
Well,
don't do it.
And I guess you might be right on that aspect as well, because if you shorten the season, if all these records like perfect games and complete games doesn't mean anything to the people running the game anymore, what's the sense of?
All right, good enough.
What's the sense of
keeping it the same way?
Yeah, what's the sense of 61 and 755 anymore?
Yeah, it doesn't matter to anybody anymore. So they're not getting a chance because they're not even getting a chance to do it anymore, because they get a rest day on heaven forbid they play 7 days in a row.
No, fuck. Really? You had to run all the way from first to third? Oh, you poor bitch.
I don't know. It's a different game now, Dave, and we kind of got a little old man, get off my lawn, kids, and everything.
Oh, no, don't worry. I shook my fist at plenty of clouds last night when
there we go. It was,